Welcoming our resource person, Professor Dr. S. Joseph Xavier, the principal and head of the Department of Aviation Management of Mary Mata College, Perikulam, Tain District. A resourceful a resource person is also a resourceful person having vast experience in the field of academic and administration. He has cited many leadership and published many papers. He has authored a book, namely Organization and Management of NGO. Our resource person now will enlighten us on the topic social impact of COVID-19 on research. Over to the resource person. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
The session is yours. Thank you, sir.
Can I start, madam?
Yes, you can start, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. The most honorable principal madam of Sitala Narasimha College, respected HOD of Commerce and BBA, Madam Lalita madam, and Madam Yasoda madam, the team of the members who are engaged in these online classes, and the post distinguished management of the college. My dear professors, participants, well-wishers, and beloved students, for everybody, a pleasant good afternoon. Today, we are going to have a discussion on the social impact of COVID with respect to research. First of all, I would like to say just the meaning of research. Of course, you all know the meaning. However, from my point of view, I say, you could see the first slide. In the first slide, slide please. In the first slide, you could see that research is nothing but a systematic method or a particular objective method which travels. Traveling means which is searching for or researching to find out a solution or to find out some new knowledge. I tell you at the outset, studying research, taking interest in research is really a very much fortunate to us, because apart from having the social impact and so on, it has its own impact on our own development. We would certainly know the best of presentation. We would easily understand how to read, how to listen, and how to write, and we will carry out lot of reliability upon whatever we do in terms of research. There is going to be a lot of increase of knowledge, and that way we will be getting lot of employment opportunity also. See, whatever the type of organization, maybe a non-trading concern or a trading concern, even in the bank or in the embassy of different countries, there are not number of people who are very much potentially research only being employed, because they need a very correct, reliable presentation. They are hunting for the people who are able to have the reliable presentation and the feasible presentation. So slide please, sir. Slide please. Slide please. Hello? 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 Slide please. Right.
Hello, sir. I'm playing slide for you, sir. Please wait.
Yeah.
Sir, you can see. You can see slide.
Yeah. Second, next slide. Next slide. My dear friends, please look at the first slide. I told you that it's a systematic. Let it be clear, sir. Slide. It's not
Yes, sir.
showing you the slide is not in full view.
Okay. I will make sure. Is this okay, sir?
No, below that there is the picture.
Sir, is it okay?
No, below that there is a picture. 2 points I am able to see. Below the second part there is a picture. Let them see the picture first. There is a pictorial form of expression.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Wait. You are going to the second slide. First slide only.
Okay, sir.
Just a minute. See, just a minute. Let it be like that. See, in the first slide, you could see that there is a triangle. I was shown that it is a systematic effort or an objective method. It travels going for a research and finding the solution or knowledge. Next one, sir. Next slide, sir. The kinds, my dear friends, in research, people say that there are a lot of problems in doing research. They say that there is a non-availability of sufficient data. They don't provide the data sometimes. Sometimes there may be a data there may not be any sufficient data. Sometimes there may be sufficient data, but they will not provide it also. The second part is there are some people who are collecting data. They are not trained sometimes. They are sent for data. Those people should not be sent. Instead of asking a question in a methodical way, the question is the same. The questions are correct. The questionnaire is correct. But the way in which they ask the question is not proper. And there is no coordination and cooperation also between the persons. And there is an insufficient interaction of the researcher. And library facility is also very much poor. These are the general problems. And there is an inordinate delay which is on the part of the researcher because they do the research, let us say in 2010, and the result comes only in 2015, whereas it goes to the government only in 2020, and thereby they cannot implement the suggestions. It is called inordinate delay. And people are not very much familiar in using the modern technology also. These are the general problems. And basically, when a man is joining in PhD or when a man is interested in doing the research, they are hunting for the problem. They spend a lot of time how to identify the problem. But now, there is a chance. In COVID, there are a lot of chances to identify the problem. My dear friends, I tell you a small example. One of the professors of Madhur, teaching Joseph College, as well as a professor from Arulanda College, Madurai, they had been to a funeral of the father of a student. At that time, the grave diggers suddenly they were begging and asking for money from the professors. Immediately, professor started, why can't we make a research on the socio-economic conditions of the particular grave diggers of Madurai? They immediately prepared the project, and that project being sanctioned by UGC, and that is one of the major projects undertaken by Arulanda College, Madurai. So likewise, whenever we are in the research attitude, finding the problem, identifying the problem, when you are interested, automatically it goes without saying that you can come out with a very valid and reliable problem. Now the situation is very much conducive. There are large number of problems, social problems because of the COVID. And what are the various types of problem? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Sir, next slide, please. Mr. Saravanan. Saravanan, sir. Hello? Mr. Saravanan, sir. Now I tell you. Normally, in COVID, we can raise certain questions. What are the various problems faced by different segments of the people in society? What are the economic problems faced, social problems faced, how government machineries is functioning or discharging their duties during the COVID period? What are the hurdles faced by them? What is the service rendered? An evaluation of the service rendered with the police people during COVID. These questions we raise because these are the things affected us, made an impact in the society. Why we must have such problem? Because we need to highlight the significance of any phenomenon. This is one of the important challenges of research. What's the meaning of phenomenon? Phenomenon is nothing but a subject matter or a concept. Here, the COVID has taken place and it has become a concept or it has become a subject matter. We have to highlight the significance of this particular phenomenon for which we can undertake a research. Next slide, sir. Sir, please. The next part is about the next challenge is the purpose of doing research is to focus the characteristics of a particular individual or a situation. Here, as I told you already, police people, police force, or any other public service, or any other volunteer service, they all have undertaken a lot of duties. And we can focus to what extent their performance is very much feasible, conducive, reliable, or objective, like that. We can characterize all those activities also. The next challenge is normally we can test the relationship between variables also. For example, you could see, Sir Saravanan sir, hello? 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 Hello, Mr. Saravanan? Hello, Mr. Saravanan? Madam? Hello, Mr. Saravanan? Is it audible? Mr. Saravanan? Hello, Mr. Saravanan?
ஹலோ சார்
Mr. Saravanan?
சார் நீங்க பேசுறது கிளியரா கேக்குது சார் உங்க மட்டும் கிளாஸ் நடத்திட்டே இருக்கு
Sir, PowerPoint is not playing. PPT is not displaying. Madam, PPT is not displayed, madam.
ஹலோ சார்
Sir, PPT is not shown clearly, ma'am.
சார் இட்ஸ் ஓகே சார் யூ ஜஸ்ட் கண்டினியூ த செஷன் சார்
Okay, PPT is not shown here. How could I continue? Shall I show you? Shall I refer my manual record? Madam? Madam? PowerPoints are not properly shown here. I'm sorry, my dear audience. Participants, really, I feel very much sorry. Kindly ensure that my voice is very much audible. I have prepared a lot of PowerPoints with all the pictorial explanation. If you are able to see the pictorial forms of explanation, you could easily visualize. That's why I am very much particular in showing the PowerPoints. Otherwise, no need at all. Now, so far we have discussed the meaning of research and the problems faced by the researchers in doing research. Generally, how this COVID situation is very much conducive in an outlined way we have discussed. Now we are in the part called challenges of research. We have completed so far some 2 challenges. The third challenge is the research is always meant for finding the relationship between the variables. Now we can find the variables, whether there is a relation between COVID, curfew, and the psychological problem, whether there is a relation between COVID, curfew, and the social problem, whether there is a relation between the economic problem of the society and the COVID curfew situation in Tamil Nadu. Like that, you can relate some variables and do the research. Then, another important thing is, it helps, next slide please, it helps framing policies also. For example, I give you one example. In monetary system, when printing currency, these are the 3 important methods: fixed reserve system, proportionate reserve system, and minimum reserve system. These are the things. Very long time back, India followed fixed reserve system. That means 1 lakh of rupee we are printing means you will have 1 lakh of worth of gold in hand. Proportionate means when we print currency 1 lakh, maybe 60% of them may be covered by gold and 40% by other assets. Minimum reserve means only will maintain some minimum amount of gold with the reserve bank. The rest of whatever the currency we print will cover only with the help of other assets. So Which one is good for India? For that also we need to make a research. So like that, framing economic policy and making a decision making. For example, how the if you see the picture like that, you can understand. Say for example, let us say all the ways of the hospitals are haphazardly maintained. Not in all the hospitals, in some of the hospitals. What are the impact of that? How to eradicate all the problems of the waste? So how we can make a waste management? For that we can make a decision. We need to take a decision for which we can take a research also. And very recently, Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman told that the fund of the country is going to be allocated between different segments of the country in an ideal way for the progress of the India. To what extent we can allocate the fund for that also we need to undertake an analysis. We need to undertake a research also. If the allocation is going to be a scientific one, it's better it need to be based upon the research or at least by observation. These are the challenges. Moreover, the economic structure and social structure of the country has changed a lot because of the COVID. Say, for example, earlier, people who are able to do the work in a very effective way, now they say that they are not able to do the work because, to some extent, their work velocity being curtailed due to their depression in the family, or depression in the psychologically, or some sort of misunderstanding between and within family. So all such things we can make a study and focus on it, how it has happened and how it affects the society. Moreover, this research is helping us to make a very scientific thinking and logical thinking also. What's the meaning of logical thinking? Say, for example, you just imagine if you are able to see the PowerPoint, you see, otherwise, you just imagine. Imagine. Let us say there is a door half closed and half open. So that means what we can say, half closed doors are half open. At the same time, we can't say that based upon this, we can't say that full closed doors are full open because it is really, cannot be accepted. Another example I say, a woman will not have the mustache. This person is not having a mustache, so he is a woman. Like that we cannot conclude. So, all men are mortal, he is a man, he is mortal. So this is called reasoning or a logical thinking. For logical thinking, for logical conclusion, this research is going to be very much useful. And this, how we arrive at logical conclusion, whether really it's a logical conclusion or not, that part we can think over and come to the concrete idea only when you have a research very strongly and in a methodical way. Moreover, the other challenges are this research helps forecasting. For example, you can just compare the country went on earlier in our country, maybe even a decade back or even before independence. What was the state during that time? What is the state now? We can make a compare. Okay. What was the protection at that time? How the protection is going to be this time? we can come up with facts and figures. It should be very much useful for the government also. And other thing is, truly, this research is going to be very much useful not only for the philosophers or creative thinkers, but also for the general academician for the society. Because they will increase their knowledge by means of you people, when you study about the society, the academician could increase their knowledge. For example, there are some separate centers in all over India. I could point out a center which is at Bangalore. The center name is called ISEC, Institute for Economic and Social Change. This center is purely, which is in Navalbari, Bangalore. This center is purely meant for taking research studies, where all the academicians are provided the boarding, lodging, and the other library facilities, everything at a very, very cheap cost. A very, very cheap cost. People go there and they encourage doing research. Not only ISEC, all over, almost in all the district, in all the state headquarters, such centers are there. I can point out here, even in Chennai, there is a center called MIDS, Madras Institute of Development Studies. Like that, this COVID is going to be very much useful and it has a social impact. And what is the social impact? And those social impact could be studied, could be analyzed by the researchers by means of requesting the government or by means of emerging, or the government may come over, the government may emerge with instituting or launching a separate research studies for all such things. And we can make use of that particular research point through which we can find or evolve with lot of modules of solutions. Now, Mr. Saravanan sir, could you please show the PowerPoint, sir? Mr. Saravanan sir. My dear friends, let it be. I'm very sorry, the PowerPoints could not be shown very clearly. Now, although it shows this drawback, please bear with me, and I will come out with the points, even without the PowerPoints. Please ensure that my voice is clear, and if you are not able to listen, or if my voice is not clear, please inform the organizers. Now I say, now, what are the various research topics in COVID, COVID-related research topics we can identify? Now I read a study on the problems faced by the public of Tamil Nadu during COVID-19 curfew. The general problem. Let me go all the problems. Then I read, problems faced by pregnant ladies during COVID-19 curfew. A study on the challenges of COVID-19 curfew. Challenges are more or less problems only, but the prospects and the problems will be covered here in challenges. A study on the impact of COVID-19 curfew generally. A study on the lifestyle change caused by COVID-19 curfew. An analytical study on the measures taken by Tamil Nadu government related to COVID-19. A comparative study on the measures taken by government between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. An analytical study on the measures taken by central government related to COVID-19. And a study on the services provided by banking sectors related to the effects of COVID-19 curfew. An evaluation of measures provided through public distribution related to COVID-19. Then, a study on the school-going children, the problems faced by the school-going children due to COVID-19 curfew. And a study on the relationship, within the quotation mark, relationship existed or existing between and within family members during COVID period. And how effectively the police force, the effectiveness of the police force with respect to their service during COVID-19. So likewise, there are a lot number of problems we can evolve with, and those things could be taken into account very seriously for doing research in the forthcoming days. Certainly, when you do the research on all such topics, maybe even in other states, or maybe district-wise, or maybe even you can compare between districts within the state. Likewise, there is going to be hundreds of theses in the near future, in the forthcoming days, which all would be relatively only on society. And this would help the government in future how to overcome the problems of curfew in an effective way without any hurt to the society. Now, I come to the point, my dear students, my dear friends. Actually, what is the research problem? Research problem is nothing but a practical difficulties or an experience faced by the researcher or one individual. When that one individual is willing to do the research on that particular practical problems faced by him to find an intention to find a solution, then that becomes a research problem. So, whatever I told you now, all these are going to be the problem because we have faced all such problems. In one way or the other, everybody might have been affected by means of all such problems. Any one of the problems may be very much severe to you. A problem which is very much severe to Mr. A may not be severe to Mr. B. But however, some in one way or the other, all the problems are going to be in one way or the other. Specifically, something will be very much severe to you. You just identify the problem. Because the problem, research problems are going to be three types. Empirical problems. Empirical problems are nothing but the problem which is supported by a theory. Here there is no empirical problem. There is no theory for this. The second type of problem is analytical problem. Analytical problems is a problem which is supported by facts and figures and reasoning. There are a large number of facts, figures and reasoning with which you can make an analytical study, comparative study, descriptive study, everything. Because there is an availability of all the problems, all the data, whatever we are in need of. There are normative problems. Normative problems are the problem which expresses a value judgment, whether a situation is desirable or undesirable. So, whatever the problem we face, the society faced during COVID-19, may be an analytical problem or a normative problem. To some extent, it is also an empirical problem. When there is a problem of, when there is a theory called theory of curfew, what will be the state? So when you relate that, this could be an empirical problem also. Now, so very much there are plenty of opportunity for you to identify the research problem. And the sources for identifying the research problem is, this is number one, COVID-19 period. Number two, if researchers' own interest, Sometimes, no, people are very much very keen in finding solution for a particular problem because that problem should have been faced by their ancestor. Maybe medicine invention, or maybe related to harmony, or maybe related to, I mean, archaeological problem. Say, for example, in Chennai, nearby Egmore, there is a center called Archaeological Center. People who are very much interested in doing research, even before opening the library, the particular archaeological center, they wait there to get into the archaeological center. Such a very famous center it is. You know, my dear friends, earlier it's very difficult to get into the archaeological center. Prior to independence, if you want to go to archaeological center, we must get the permission of the governor. After that, because the request made, it changed. Now, I mean, immediately after that, it was given the permission to get into the archaeological center is enough to get a permission from the Commissioner of Chennai. Now, there is a separate directorate, there is a separate IAS officer, and it's being maintained in a very, a very reasonable way with its full potential. So people are there waiting to read and write. This is because of this for interest. And we find some of the problems which we face every day. And there are going to be cultural problems also. The cultural problem may be due to food, may be due to faith and religion, may be due to behavior, may be due to rituals, or may be due to customs, language, beliefs, attitude. Sometimes even art, drama, music, there is going to be a cultural problem. And because of the technological change, there is a problem. Say, for example, when the technology is changed, the man who is already prepared, if he is not well versed in the technology, he will resist for the introduction of the particular technology. So that's also a problem because he is not able to cope up with the change. And there is a need for a change management. So for that also, we need to undertake a research. Here there is a change. How to cope up with the curfew. See, whether we are willing to, whether we are really liking this curfew or not, because of the need-based, because of the enforcement of the government, we have to sustain with that. We have to adjust with that. How we can have the adjust with the change. For that, we need to undertake a research. Similarly, there are some social problems related to poverty, crisis, debt, equity, politics, education, crisis, peace, freedom, rights. You know, my dear friends, see, because of this, people are very much having lot of debt. They are not able to pay their EMI. They are not able to pay the interest on the debt. And because their income is lower, their source of income is completely wiped out. They are not able to get a good job. And some of the people being expelled. And how it affects the society. And all this because of this COVID-19. And maybe about the poverty or maybe about the rights of the people, how it's been, they are deprived of the rights, how they have misused their rights, or how the freedom is not given. Why there is a need for a freedom? To what extent there is a need for a freedom in COVID? How there is a crisis on the part of the economy in India? How we can overcome? How there is a crisis with respect to a small industry or with respect to medium industry? How we can overcome? Why there is no peace in the country? By religion wise, by language wise, by mob wise. Why there is no peace? What are the causes? Especially during the curfew time. Why people are not worried about the general regulations? Why they are very much particular about very bad habit, maybe addicted. So on all such things we can undertake. Plenty of sources are there for doing the research. And the other this particular COVID-19 period, this curfew is curfew related is completely an unexplored area. This is an unexplored area. Unexplored area is one of the main important sources to identify the research problems. And the causes for bankruptcy, why the multinational companies have become bankrupt, the scenario of irrecoverable debt and the challenges, is it because of the all such things we can undertake the research. And there is going to be, organizational problems also, which is also a part of society because of this COVID-19. Maybe there may be ill treatment or the salary might not have been given very sufficiently. The relationship of the persons between persons, the employee is not clear. So, so they need to say importantly organizational behavior challenges during COVID period. Organizational behavior challenges, how it affects the society as an employee, as a part of the society. Employee is a part of the society. So like that we can think of. And some problems are faced by the authorities also and the policy makers also, and how it affects policy. When the policy makers are making the change in the policy, it affects the society. When the authorities are making the change in their organization, it affects the society. How it affects because of the COVID? Maybe due to the men aspect, because of the material aspect, or maybe mission aspect, or method aspect, or management aspect. All these changes are taking place with respect to all such things, which will have an impact over the society during the COVID period. And with which we can find out the solution, or we can find out a particular problem, any problem you like it. These are the very large and potential sources to identify the problems. Once you identify the problems, you select a particular problem. Importantly, a particular problem in which you are interested. So that is going to be the important steps of doing research also. After selecting the important problem in which you are interested, you convert that particular problem into a title. And converting that problem into a title is called formulation of the problem. So formulation is nothing but developing a problem. Formulation is nothing but developing a problem. And the next one is, once you identify the problem,
Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will. Participants, you can also ask questions from the feedback link. Sir will.
Good afternoon to all. At the outset, we express our sincere gratitude to our secretary, Dean of Academic and Administration, our beloved principal and principal for having his Dean of Academic and Motivation to organize this national webinar on social impact of COVID-19 on research. I feel honored to thank the person of this session, Professor Dr. Xavier, Vice Principal, Head, Department of BBA, Mary Mata College. By touching the various aspects of research. He has clearly explained the type of research, steps in research process, various aspects of research problems in social science, explained and suggested relevant research topics for the present pandemic situations in social science. You have given suggested range of the research design and aim at young research by focusing on relevant topics for research and building the minds of the researchers as to how to identify the research problem. Thank you very much, sir. I thank all faculty members, students, and all the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, students, and all the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Members, thank you, sir. All the participants for making their webinar a grand success. Thank you, one and all.